Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode on GTA 5 with Mustang Bugatti in the case of some peculiar AIs. Yep, that's one AI, no fault of the player, upside down on its roof. A little further down the way, another AI in the distance manages to spin and grip roll their SUV, and I don't know what's going on. I'm not against AI spontaneously falling over, that's for sure. Just unusual to see two of them in such close proximity. And up next, Stinty Boy on GTA 5. Actually, both of these first two clips were from various streams. This very start of a race. Currently sat in second. However, Reese would get rather unlucky. The back of his car going underneath the front of the white vehicle. That's enough to ping, and perhaps one of the most violent and swift aerial takedowns we've seen for quite some time. Screaming Pablo on Forza Motorsport 6, playing a game of tag, I think, in the effort. Now, I've seen many weird things go on in this area, many strange occurrences. What I haven't seen before, though, was a Cadillac Escalade wanting to be a plane. I mean, it's not a bad place. It's not a bad place if you could shuffle the car in a little bit more. It'd actually be quite a good sort of disguise. Unfortunately, Mercedes can still bop it, so you'd still get tagged, but that's a weird one. I personally have not come across that one before. TR King Copper up next on Forza Horizon 4, racing, a team adventure racing in the Chevy Colorado. Goes to take a corner. Normally, when the Chevy's had enough of being on all of its wheels. Falls over, goes for a roll, lands back down, loses a couple of positions, however, gets going again, and in all of that, loses some time, I guess, to the cars ahead, but comes out surprisingly well. Still don't know. I initially thought it rolled over a rock, but you really can't see anything that would have caused the vehicle to fall over. It's just what happens sometimes. Squid Biscuit on Horizon 4 is going for one of the bonus boards, knowing there's a difficult jump, trying to judge the speed, but gets it wrong. And now there's a problem for the Lotus. It's balanced on a train, and, well, it doesn't really want to get off the train. You can't move it forward to try and nudge the bonus board because it's got stuck. You can kind of reverse it a little bit, but then still gets a little bit glitchy, a little bit angry, kind of just shaking the car around. It turns out trains are a dangerous place just stationary trains are a dangerous and difficult place to have parked on. Almost manages to get across to the bonus board, probably falls down the gap, gets reset inside the train, and then we're off through the floor again. Yeah, not the best of places. He tried again to get the bonus boards, still jumped a little bit short. This time, though, as the car eventually wiggles its way free, falls into the train, and then gets stuck there instead. I think it was better on top of the train. Honestly, it was better being on top of the train than having your car fused into the middle of a train carriage. Yeah, don't get stuck on that part. After many shufflings, it does eventually get free, but yeah, that's not a fun place. Unpoisoned on Horizon 4 is trying to go for a little bit of a shortcut. However, climbing mountains is not always the easiest thing. Not always the easiest things at all, unless you've got a Skyrim horse, and this buggy is no Skyrim horse. It tries and tumbles and tumbles and still tumbling. We might eventually come to a landing, and there we go. Don't take that shortcut. They're tempting, and sometimes they can work in places. That one they did not. Inferno the Fox on a Gran Turismo Sport is playing around with an AI. We've all done this when we've got a massively OP car against an AI vehicle. You can have a little bit of fun. Decides to try and bop the Honda into the pit lane. Successfully bops the Honda into the pit lane. The problem is, karma gets the better of the Lancia. A little bit of an invisible wall around the barricade on the end of the pit lane, and the Honda actually manages to go and win the race from the pit lane. And that is why you have to be careful when bullying. We saw this last week. You bully the AI and karma will get you. Karma will inevitably get you. We are on next to the crew with a Welsh Toast trying to take down a BMW. Gives it a good whack on the sort of the first part. Doesn't quite do enough to take it down. Instead, it's the teeniest of little nudges that makes a BMW go for an impressive roll. That's a serious roll from a tiny, tiny nudge, but there we go. More impressive rolling, this time on World of Tanks from AAR channel, with, well, okay, I say rolling, this is more cartwheeling. Apparently, this particular, I think it was a Halloween event or whatever, had some weird tank physics going on, because tanks don't normally do that. I think it is safe to say tanks don't normally do that. Still guns on F1 2018 and a Ferrari with a puncher trying to limp its way back to the pits. Problem is, well, the rest of the cars not paying too much attention to what was going on. Mercedes, I think it was Hamilton's Mercedes, clonks the Ferrari. The Ferrari now desperately trying to get into the pits, has a Red Bull attached, drags the Red Bull into the pits, and then they both get stuck. For whatever reason, not able to turn left quite enough. Well, I mean, they could, but they're not. Just going to do this backwards and forwards little merry dance. Both of them, yeah, not really having a particular... That's not quite how things work. I know Formula 1 cars don't have a great turning circle and all. They are a little difficult to manoeuvre, but this is ridiculous, quite frankly. After a little while, the Mercedes, yeah, that makes a reappearance, and then all three of them get disqualified. So, well done everybody, you made a big mess of that race. A mad JDM bro on assetto corsa, minding his own business when sudden tumbling hot rod flies across the road. Yeah, this, an AI car further back carrying way too much speed, not getting stopped in time for that corner. Goes for a massive crash off the edge of the mountain. Unfortunately, like a lot of assetto corsa crashes, it all gets reset a little bit too fast to quite see how far the forward... It would have got a long way. It would have got a very long way down there. It is a... yeah, that's not a nice place to have a crash. Very nearly takes out wherever the lead car was. And finally, Leo High on assetto corsa as well, racing the Dodge Viper. Gets things wrong, wheel on the grass, and at an inopportune moment loses the back end. Off towards the grass banking, can't quite bring the car back under control. It's a jump, a tumble, and then physics gives up, and we say bye-bye to the Viper. Not before one last spiral, and there it goes. Yeah, bye-bye Dodge. Some good flights on assetto corsa this week. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. If you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. But that is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.